I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad,
Yeah.
baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help.
Just put a little bit more of the shading at the top of the eye in. Which all helps us. And because they're so wrinkly and everything, the Frenchies, they have creases right up next to the eyes. So just following the shape. It's really small, tight area. Difficult to get at, even with this extra small space shader. Start widening out that dark band. As the eye colours in. When you start adding your colour, keep adding it in the shape that you're trying to create. It's no good going sideways or downwards. You need to follow the shape that you're trying to create. And trust me, it will pay dividends. And I've really zoomed in on this eye now. And the iris of this dog bleeds out. You can download the image for free. If you go on Pixabay, search Frenchies, you will see this near the top. It's a free download. Really good quality image. Shutterstock has amazing quality images, but Shutterstock gives you a month free, or X amount of images free to start you off, and they are, wow, amazing quality. But then after that it's 20-something quid a month for 10 images. Another thing I'll say on this video, this birch ply I'm using today is supplied by oakcrafts.co.uk, and this, believe it or not, is from a batch. They sell these amazing bundles of 50 seconds. Now what they do is they guarantee one side of the seconds will be perfect and the other side will have slight flaws in it. Now, if you're doing a commission or a piece of art, you're only going to use one side. You've got one perfect side. The other side doesn't matter if it's damaged, as long as you've got one perfect side to work off. And they're amazingly priced. When I bought mine, it was something like 27, 28 quid for 50, and this size 4mm. You can go 3, 4 or 6mm depth, and it is a great quality ply. Very fast shipping as well, and they're well packaged. So if you're in the UK and you're looking for wood stockists, search oakcrafts.co.uk and check out, they do 10 packs of perfect both sides of pyrography blanks, as we call them. On my screen, there we go, it's just come back into focus. There's the camera. It's no good when it's blocking out, is it? I don't know if you can zoom with this camera either when you're on TikTok. Babe? Babe? Do you know if you can zoom with your camera while you're on TikTok? Will you have a look? Will you have a look on yours? See if you can zoom when you're doing a live. Well, just only for a second, we'll just see in the settings if you can zoom your camera. Remember, because we're burning low and slow. We're not blasting at it with heat. We're gradually building an eye. Just checking out now to see if you can actually zoom. Because everything you're seeing me do is from far away. I'm going to do my YouTube tutorials, zoom right in, so I need it to be decent enough quality. Otherwise live classes on TikTok will be no good. It's time to invite people to go live together. I know wood burning assassin is a good, pyrographer. But if I click that button, it doesn't do anything. I've seen his work. He can wood burn. I know when I was doing a tutorial last week, he popped in and asked to do a collaboration. Sorry? You don't? Well, we're going to have to stay at distance, I'm afraid. But I'll put it up closer to the camera once this eye is done. But setting your tones is so important when you're looking to do something with realism. Getting the perfect tone is all important, and if you... Sorry? Yeah, that'd be the only way. So it's just sometimes going blotchy on my screen. It's pixelating on my Samsung. Well, I can't take my phone any closer than what it is on this stand. I mean, hopefully you can start seeing the shape of an eye coming together. Again, you've got to, if you're doing colouring in the eye, follow the directions. There is still a super dark patch to put at the back of the eye. I might have to turn the heat up a touch to set this back. I always like to work, and I always teach people work to make sure you've got full control over the heat that has been absorbed into your board. The moment that heat starts dictating to you, and it's going too fast and it's burning too hot and you can't keep up, turn the dial down. If you're wanting to create realism, you need to have control over your pen. See, I don't understand. Hello there to Ninja. How are you? Let's still see if we can push this darkness back. All these tones matter come the end of a really good looking eye. Like I said, it may take you a couple of hours to do one eye, but it'll be worth it compared to something that somebody has just blasted out in 10 minutes. So we can still follow even this white patch. There is actually a part of the lid that goes over it. And that said, it's weird on these Frenchies, their eyelids look like leather. All under here is under the eyelid. And so you want sort of your darkness stepping forward, you know, coming out at you. To start off from the darkest point, pull your pen towards you. Only in, you know, we're not talking like right round the eye, just short strokes. To try and start getting that depth underneath. Start filling in a bit more of the pupil. You've got to take into account this reflection of the front of the eye. It's not a full highlight, it's just a reflection. Carry on pulling that colour in. Over time, it will start adding itself. Don't need to think it's not doing anything. It is slowly building up. And you see what I mean with the pupil. In a minute you'll start seeing like a lens over the eye. As long as I get my tones right. Pyrography is all about the right tones. Message off Walt. Is one of the people in our Pyrography group we have on Facebook, which is Pyrography for Beginners and Beyond by Flames Pyro Art, which is the pen name I go under. We have a couple of thousand members where we run monthly competitions, and it's a group for people who have a passion for pyrography. And we have some absolutely amazing wood burners in the group. Some truly stunning pieces. I mean, I showed you, I think there is a video of last month's Birds of Prey winners. And I think Walt actually won the beginners class, because we have 3 different classes: beginners, intermediate and advanced, so everybody gets a shot. You know, you're not competing against people who have got a lot more experience under the belt than what you have. And we send out certificates and rosettes to the winners, and they can say they're an award-winning pyrographer. It doesn't matter where you live in the world, I will send them out to you. Don't charge you anything for it. I do it for the love of pyrography and sharing the passion with others. You may well be, if you are a pyrographer watching this, you may well be a member of Pyrography for Beginners and Beyond. Each month the theme changes. I set the themes wide enough for people to have their own artistic license, you know. Like I said, last month, Birds of Prey, and one guy, the Sarge, did an army warplane with bombs on it, bird of prey. So that was a really imaginative spin on the title. He had a couple of votes. He's very new to pyrography. He was made up to bits with a couple of votes that he received. We have a zero bullying policy in the group, whereas that if you are new to wood burning and you want to show off some of your work, you will not get idiots trashing any of your beautiful pieces of art that you're really pleased with. Not in my group. If anybody does that, they're out. It's all about encouraging and inspiring, not belittling anybody. So you can see now we are building some of the colour that steps up in the eye. And keep playing about, keep putting your eyelid in to keep, so you can keep adding more and more of your depth. The more detail you put in around the eye, the more you'll see. I mean, this dog has like a line there on his lid and then fur stepping up off it. Little details like that you can add. That'll help you to build a shape. And with a Frenchie, the hair is very short, so it's short flicks. When you start building for, like I said, they are wrinkly dogs. So this one has got a wrinkle right down near his eye. And then if we would start setting some of his fur in. And the way you have to look at it with your pyrography, when I talk about the burn low and slow method, let's say my wife is a graphite artist. She's good with colour pencils. She loves graphite. And the graphite artist would not just get the darkest graphite pencil out of the box and do a piece of art. They would look for different tones and shades of graphite is what makes the piece. And it's exactly the same difference with pyrography. You're just looking to build different shades of what they call it. I call it sepia, but I think Americans pronounce it sepia. I believe I'm a bit of a purist. I don't like adding colour to my wood burns. I think if you're going to be a pyrographer, then your wood burning should do the talking for you and not add colour, but that's just my personal opinion. Some people love to add colour as well to the work. We all do things differently. But I think, funnily enough, we've been running competitions for a good while now. A good several, maybe at least 8 months or so. And in all that time, I don't think one piece that has had colour added as one pyrographer of the month. I think they've all been just pure wood burns. Because if you get it right, it can look spectacular. Again, we're still stepping out from under the lid. And this is where that reflection sits, near the top. There's me dogs knocking over something. As you get into any art form, eventually, I mean, I've been doing it for a good few years now, there'll come a point where you really want to get into realism and really look in depth at your art. Put some more colour into the pupil. So what I like to do is try and leave a lighter glaze on the pupil when everything, all the colours added, and it just gives that look that there is a lens. I don't know how long we've been going for because I've just got lost in what I'm doing. We have actually been going for an hour and a half. I'm just going to keep going for now as I'm enjoying myself. on the back part of this eye. It has like streaks of darkness in there. It's weird in that the reflection, don't know what it's reflecting. It was like maybe a house. If I look really close, it's either a house or a tree in the reflection that gives a little spike here. And because it's a reflection, we're not going to leave it unburnt. We need to add some shade into it. It's weird even though we've got this darker patch, the actual eyeball continues into that corner. When you can't see from far away, let me try and zoom it up closer. As you can see, it's slowly beginning to take shape. It'd be better if I could zoom the lens, but you can't. And hopefully some of the things I've talked about today, I know on the YouTube class I will be able to zoom this image in, and hopefully it won't be pixelated. Now another thing you have to think about, when you've got the eyelid of anything, any animal, always here on the pupil is always a dark patch. Because you're coming out from underneath something. It's always, whatever shade everything else is, it's always, you have a dark patch up there. Let's see if we can get the corner of this eye in. Stop biting the lid. And like I said, there's a crease of fur that goes off in different directions here. Then if we look underneath the eye, the fur actually restarts after this leathery patch. And then you always go off into the corner, into the pupil. I'll show you this close up in a minute. And down here, remember I said to come at it from the inside, because I'm a little more experienced. I'm going to come at it from the wrong side, but because I'm using the tip of the pen, I can get away with it as long as I'm only doing short flicks. Because I want to capture this corner as the deepest point. Then start bleeding the colour of the eye gently in and around, and it's sort of under the lens. And if you leave that little bit of like lighter shade and then not really dark burn the whole thing, you will put a lens on it. I can take this pupil darker. So my head's not getting in the way, I just need to see. When you're going out from an eyelid and you're actually putting your fur in, it's the same again, darkest at your bottom. Start move your strokes in the direction of the fur. So in this case it's short flicks going that way, up the side of the lid. And all dogs have a patch where it breaks off and it starts going off over there. You won't be able to see it properly at this heat. But you'll have all the like sort of eyelid and browy section, and then it breaks off out into the fur and into the head. Just try and touch a few more bits of this up. And it will get tweaked as we go. But as you can see, I'll try and show you it up closer to the camera. And try and get the right angle. We can start seeing more shape and realism to the eye by burning on lower heats and just gradually building. You see round here we started building some shading, and then we're bleeding the colours up from the bottom, but carrying on the shape of the oval of the eye. And then obviously we've got the iris in the middle. Now what I always like to try and do when we're doing an iris is don't go full dark on all of it. Leave, say, the very apex of it, leave it a lighter shade, and it will look like there's a film, then, you know, a lens over the eye. But focus on your top from the inside of the pen, focus on your bottom inside of the eye, you know, shaping the oval, the egg. Your far ends are going to be your darkest point on them two ends to give you the dome structure. So these all have to be set back darker to push them in to make the eye, and it'll give it its shape. And if you keep working at it, that will look like a really stunning dog's eye. And when you've done the other one and you've started building the fur, the eyes will really pop. And that's how you do it. So that is lesson 1 pretty much. I think I touched on most of the things that you need to look at if you're wanting to do a dog's eye with real realism and to give them some pop. You need to burn on a low heat and just gradually build and let the heats bleed and absorb into the wood, and then you'll start creating the magical shapes. And once you start putting all your fur and shading in. The eyes will develop more and more as you keep working the piece. You know, the more detail you add, you'll start, you know, that needs to go a tad darker, and everything all of a sudden makes sense. But the weird thing on these dogs' eyes, I'm going to try and see if I can do, is this leathery effect. On his eyelid. Remember, it does shape around with the contours of the face. Got very flat faces, haven't they, of Frenchies? Everything's sort of squished in. But with a bit of time, I'll be able to get that weird leathery look to the lid. So hope you enjoyed that brief look into how to create a more realistic looking dog's eye. I'm going to have a look at how we can zoom the camera in closer, because if you could see it at a much closer detail, then you would be able to see a lot more of what I'm doing. If I could really get you to zoom in on the eye, I'd be able to show you a lot more, obviously, of what I'm doing. It's when you're working in such small, fine detail, you really need to see up close. Okay, so happy wood burning to all you wood burners out there. Or as I say, happy pyroing. And I will see you in the next installment. After I finish both eyes, we'll start looking at creating more of this Frenchie together. But a lot of the lessons, like I said, will be on YouTube. And it's Pyrography for Beginners and Beyond by Flames Pyro. Okay, take care everybody. Thanks for...
Like me, open up your eyes and insert a little rising. You don't have to love me, you don't have to like me. Got enough love in myself, in my psyche. You should have the same in your brain nightly. If you wanna taste, bitch, you can fucking try me. If you wanna hate, bitch, you know where to find me. And if you go and hate this, you can fucking bite me. I'll be cruising in my lane fast, call it high speed. I've been working hard, yeah, I've been working nightly. If you think you'll win, ha, not fucking likely. I be taking shots, yeah, cold-blooded, icy. Watching numbers grow is what I call sightseeing. In the front row, run it up when they hype me. The following grows, they know how to ignite.